we are still solving systems of equations, but instead of giving you the two equations already graphed, we're going to give you the equations and you're going to graph them and then pick out the solution. So whenever they give you two equations, if you're easy to graph, you could just go graph them by hand. Now tomorrow we're going to learn how to graph them and find the solution in the calculator. But for today, we're going to graph them by hand just to practice it. So put the equations in slope-intercept form if they're not already in slope-intercept form, which means they need to start with y equals. Then we're going to graph each equation on the coordinate plane and then find where they intersect. Okay, and that intersection will be your solution. So here's my first equation, y equals 2x. The second equation is y equals negative x plus 3. Now the slope is a positive 2 in the first equation. The slope is a negative 1 in this one, so you might want to draw yourself a little negative 1 there, just to remind you that that number is there. Now y-intercept in the second equation is 3. It is crossing the y-axis at positive 3. What is the number after the 2x? You're right, you don't see anything, so the y-intercept is a 0. So you could finish this off with a plus 0 if you want to, just so you can see it. Now, when you're graphing these, you start off with the y-intercept first. So on this first equation, the y-intercept is 0. So on the y-axis, I'm going to go down until I find 0. Now remember where that this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So where these two cross is 0. So right here is 0. So that is the point 0 on the y-axis. That's 1, 2, 3 going up, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 going down. So that first equation crosses the y-axis right there at 0. My line goes through that point somewhere. It goes through that point. The slope is a positive 2, so it should be going up when I'm done. So if you want to make 2 into a fraction, it is 2 over 1. So that means I'm going to rise 2 and go over 1. Rise 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So go to the point that you know is there on the y-axis and go up 2 spaces and over 1 space. And then check to see if you put the dot there, is this line that you're making going up? And since it is, that does match my positive slope. If it did match it, I might go up 2 and go left 1 and see if that makes my positive slope. But that would have given me a negative slope, so don't go that way. So then you can do it again. Up 2 over 1 and put a dot right there on that point. Up 2 over 1 and you're right there. So all you're going to do is connect these dots. Now you could do it this other direction too. You could go down 2 and left 1 and put a dot there at that intersection. Down 2 and left 1. So you could do yourself a series of dots. It makes it easier to sketch the line. So you can see the line is going through those little dots, and I'm just going to kind of sketch it slowly across here. That one didn't work too good at the very end, but that is the first line, y equals 2x. I'm going to label it y equals 2x. So there is my first equation. Second equation, again, start with the y-intercept number. It's crossing the y-axis at positive 3. So on the y-axis, go find 1, 2, 3. My line is going through that point right there. Now this is a negative slope, so when I'm done, this line should be going down from left to right. So negative 1, if you want to make it into a fraction, is negative 1 over 1. So down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. It's rise over run. So from this point, you're going to go down 1 over 1, and then check to see, are we making a negative slope? Yes. Down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. You could go the other direction from that y-intercept, up 1 and left 1. And it's still making that same direction of a negative slope. Now, once you've got a few points and you can see where it's intersecting, you know where the solution is, because the solution of a systems of equations is the point that's on both lines. And where they intersect, that point is on both lines. It's on our first line and it's on our second line. So that is the only point that is a solution to the system, right? Because we're looking for points that solve both equations at the same time. And that point, if you start at the origin, is right 1 and up 2. So 1 comma 2 is the solution. I'm going to ignore the verified part, but that is the solution. 1 comma 2 is the solution. So that was the first example. Example 2, here's the two equations. We're going to graph the systems of equations, more than one equation on the same graph. And to solve it, we're looking for points that are on both lines. So y-intercept is negative 4. Oh, wait, I rewrote this one. On your worksheet, it's been rewritten. I put them in y equals format so you didn't have to solve them. So this is y equals 2x minus 4. Okay, so that's the two equations I gave you on your worksheet. So y-intercept is a negative 4, so on the y-axis, remember this is 0 where the two of them cross, we're going to go down negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. My line is going through that point right there. And it is a positive slope, 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So from this point, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Double check that if I draw that line, it is going up from left to right, and it is. So again, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. You could do a series of dots and then just connect them if you like. We'll see if we have enough points to match it up nice and pretty on the intersection. So there's the first equation. Y equals, I should have labeled this other one up here. This was y equals negative 1x plus 3. Just so we'll know which is which. So this was y equals 2x minus 4. Y equals 2x minus 4. Started at negative 4 on the y-axis. Went up 2 over 1 to up 2 over 1. So again, graphing the second equation, start with the y-intercept, which is a negative 2. So on the y-axis, it is crossing at negative 2. Right there at that point. It's going through that point. The slope is 1. There's a 1 in front of that x, and it is a positive 1. So if you make it into a fraction, it's up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So when we're done, this line needs to be going up. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So I'm just kind of getting enough dots here that you can see it. From the original point, you could go down 1 and left 1. So they're still in order. Down 1, left 1. So you can see this is a much flatter line. It is doing this thing. I can sketch it carefully. There we go. Okay, so you can see where they intersect is right here on the x-axis. That point is on both lines. To get the ordered pair that goes with that point, start at the origin, we go right to, and we don't go up or down, so the second number is a 0. We went right to, and we did not go up. So 2, 0 is the ordered pair for that point, and that is the solution. So 2, 0 is the solution for this system of equations. 1, 2 is the solution for that one. You've got 2 more problems to do down here. They're in y equals format, so just go graph them. Find the solution, that ordered pair. You're going to go back after you do both of these problems, write down your answers somewhere so you know what they are. Then go back, hit the button at the bottom of this page that says go back, and you will be able to enter those on that last section where I have a place on there for a blank answer. You can just type in those 2 ordered pairs. It doesn't matter how you type them in. I'm going to look at them manually. Okay, so do those 2 problems, find the solution, and just type in that ordered pair on that last problem in the previous section. Then you can hit next again and hit submit, and you will be done with that little worksheet. Bye, guys.